What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/ChoosingBeggars. Alright, this story's called, No, You Can't Take My Child's Bike. I kind of have a negative attitude about all this. I apologize. The wound is still a little fresh. I love giving and helping people normally, but seriously, this makes me understand Scrooge McDuck. So my wife and I decided to clean out the garage to take advantage of the quarantine. So we rented a dumpster and started clearing everything out. We have 4 kids, so we have a lot of junk and old clothes, toys, high chairs, strollers, etc. And it's all in really good condition, as my wife takes really good care of things so that we could resell it later, usually to one of her cousins. She has a very, very large family, so there's almost always someone pregnant. Normally, she'll post the items on Facebook for our friends and family, and then she'll post them for sale on Marketplace or take them to a secondhand store to try and make a little side cash. With the garage initiative, we decided we would just curb alert all items for free, and people could come take whatever they wanted. When I say curb alert, I literally mean they were in a separate group by the curb, clearly separated from the stuff that would be going back into the garage. This is important. My wife takes a picture of some of the stuff, puts it on Facebook, and then ends up texting a couple of her cousins and friends that she knows could use some stuff. She even goes through the boxes of clothes to pull out some outfits and sizes for them that she thinks they'll like. Above and beyond for them getting free stuff. It's who she is. So one of her cousins rolls up less than an hour after it's posted and says she'll take it all. Now, all of her kids except one of them are older than all of ours. So we were a little confused as to why she needed things like a high chair, box of toddler clothes, etc. But whatever. We literally just did not care. She could take them all and sell them for her own profit. We just couldn't care less at this point. So then she starts looking through the other stuff, and I told her that was the stuff we were keeping. Then she asks if she can have one of our bikes. I told her no, that my kids use them. She asks why we have so many bikes, so I explained that we just got the kids new bikes, but 2 of our kids aren't quite ready for their new bikes, as one is a little too short to ride it comfortably, and the other hasn't learned to ride without training wheels yet. Her response? Teach him to ride without training wheels and give me that bike. I told her no, firmly. She rolled her eyes at me and went back to the curb pile. One of our friends texted my wife and asked if she could hold on to the double stroller for her, as she could really use it. They foster kids and just got given a baby along with their 2-year-old, and she really needs a double stroller. So we tell her cousin, whose youngest child is 4, that we're keeping that for a friend. Her response? She ain't here yet. My neighbor really needs a stroller. I tell her no again and take the stroller back up to the other pile. She follows. Whatever. Then she starts back on the bike thing, saying that since she can't have the stroller, I should give her the bike. Again, I firmly tell her that I'm not giving her my son's bike. The conversation goes as follows. But Bubs don't have nothing to ride. Okay, but who's Bubs? That's what we all call JJ's little boy. Oh, okay. Who's JJ? My neighbor down the road. He's done some work for my father-in-law before. Side notes, my father-in-law runs a decently large-scale rental company. He's got close to 50 regular workers, all of which are either family or considered family. None of them are named JJ. Yeah, I don't know JJ, but even if I did, he can't take my son's bike. She goes on to talk about how I could just go buy training wheels for the new bike because they're cheap, and that Bob's is going to be crushed not to have a bike. I asked why he would be expecting a bike in the first place. This goes on for a solid 5 minutes before I finally just tell her that she needs to pack up and leave. Pack. This is when I finally lost it. Okay, but I need y'all to load my car for me. For real, I just worked an 8-hour shift and then went home and cooked fajitas for the kids. there I am, covered in sweat, garage dust, dumpster funk, after having woken up early to work my 8 hours, I work from home, being told that she's too tired to load up the free crap I just gave her. Whatever though, I don't care at this point and start loading up the car, with her teenage daughter sitting in the front seat playing on her phone. And she has the audacity to move my son's bike over to the pile I'm loading from. I ignore it, of course, and keep loading and then close the tailgate. Ha, you forgot something! Get off my son's bike. You can't have it. Oh, come on. You know you're just gonna give it to me anyway. Just load it up and let me leave. I finally snapped and told her that if she didn't leave, I would unload all the crap I just loaded and she could leave with none of it. She promptly left. Okay, yeah, I can understand being really annoyed and just pissed off at this lady, and just in general after having to go through stupidity like that and selfishness and just Karenicity and all that jazz. You know what I will say though? I appreciate your restraint and patience. That's very admirable, like honestly. Alright, this story's called But the Children! Adventures in Selling a Horse. This happened a couple of years back and is the closest I've gotten to Choosy Beggar Bingo to date. It was so absurd, I remember like it was yesterday. Not too wild, but geez, these people. I was selling a horse. A nice horse. 5 years old, great papers, well-trained. I bought him as a yearling colt, sent him to my favorite trainer for 4 years for his finishing work, and discovered we just did not vibe. We never really did, but I had hopes it would improve with riding in time. It did not. I put him up for sale at 5 years old, because he was too nice to just look at, and taking him out for rides was more of a chore. I listed him for $3,500, which was plenty fair, all things considered. Honestly, that is a really good deal. Enter stage left. Choosy Beggar Trio. They ask the usual questions. How does he behave in a trailer and the like? Ride him around for a bit, and thus begins the biggest load of bull I've ever seen. Are you firm on the price? I'll consider offers. Well, we're looking for a therapy horse for special needs children. He would be perfect. The kids would love him. At this point, I knew I wasn't gonna sell them this horse. I would rather keep him another year than sell him to these people. Therapy horses tend to be older and laid back. They move gently. This horse was exactly none of those things. He would be perfect, but we'll have to send him to our trainer to be retrained. How firm are you on the price? I will consider offers. We'll give you $500. It's gonna cost at least $2,500 to have him retrained. I'm sorry, I can't go that low on him. I have more in training costs alone. But the kids would really like him. He's so fancy. You'd be doing a really good deed selling him to us. Think of the children. I really don't think he's appropriate as a therapy horse. He's far too spirited, and I can't go nearly so low. Well, we would send him to our trainer. The kids would be really excited to have a horse like him. The highest we could go is $800, including the tack. Most people donate the tack with the horse, so we're really doing you a favor. Lady, the bit in his mouth alone cost me $70 secondhand. So $800 with the tack? Do we got a deal? These kids are really looking forward to a new horse, and we'll have to call our trainer right away. You know what? Let me sleep on it. I'll get back to you in the morning. That at least made them leave. But as luck would have it, I completely forgot to get back to them in the morning. Missed calls from unknown numbers? I only seem to recall making the mistake of giving them my number. How strange. Voicemails? Accidentally deleted. Emails? Ignored. They didn't give up until I put a great big sold on all my listed ads. The lady I did sell him to? She was looking for a trail and endurance horse, which he was perfectly suited for. When she rode him the first time, he danced for her the way his half-brother did for me 15 years ago. She was the only person I could even dream of selling this horse to. I dropped $500 from his price. That she didn't ask for, but she was going to be riding in more mountainous terrain, and I offered to either send him to my trainer for 30 days for fine-tuning or just take cash off the price. After that, trailered him 3 hours to meet her halfway. She was grinning like she won the lottery when he came stepping off the trailer. And I bet those naggy beggars didn't even know any damn kids. That's so cool how you could have this horse for a long ass time and he won't like you, and this lady he just met, he's like, "Hey little mama, how you doing?" This story's called I Bought a Homeless Man a Meal, and he decided I need to do that every day. So for some context, I work in a smaller restaurant. I am a 14-year-old girl trying to save money for college, and I am absolutely in love with my job. I was coming in around 6 a.m. one morning, through the back as usual, and I see a man walking down the street behind the restaurant. I was gonna keep inside as it was still a bit dark out and my county has many sexual assault incidents. Something told me I couldn't just leave this man be, so I walked towards him a bit and asked if he had anything to eat this morning. He said, "No dear, I do not." So I told him to come around the front entrance of the building and I'd treat him to some breakfast. After I got clocked in, stocked the bakery, opened the doors and such, he hadn't come in yet. About 30 minutes passed and I was sad for a while. I finally saw him come in. I gave him a menu and some water while we got his food ready. He got a breakfast burger, hash browns, and a muffin. He left when he was finished eating and I smiled the rest of my shift because I was able to feed a man that morning. The next day came. I opened at 6, did everything as normal when he came in around 8. I was surprised to see him and he ordered the same thing. Part of me did wonder if he expected me to pay again, but I pushed it aside as I cleaned some tables and waited on his order. I got it ready and told him the total. His tone went sour.
"It costs money."
"Yes, sir. It's total amount."
"But you paid for me yesterday."
"Yes, I did. I try to be nice and do good deeds, but I cannot afford to do that every day."
"That's ridiculous. You expect me to pay
total amount?" "Yes, I do. You ordered the food." He begrudgingly pulls out his wallet and gives me a 20. At this point, I'm a little shocked he asked me to pay for him once again, and almost did, as there was a point where I was nearly homeless and I really try to help as much as I can. He took his food to go and left. The next day came. Same thing, 6 a.m. He comes in around 8. He orders the same thing. I get it ready and he asks me,
"Can it be free?"
I responded with, "No. Unfortunately, restaurant name, cannot give food away for free." ChoosingBeggars sighs and rolls his eyes once again, citing something about my being a cooter. He says he needs to run to the bank and, not surprisingly, he doesn't come back. My manager marks it as a walkout and he didn't come back in after this. I don't know why he didn't understand that I, barely a freshman in high school trying to get a jump start on my life, can't pay $20 a day for his burger. Looking back, he was probably a beggar pretending to be homeless, as there have been more and more stories of that sort of thing in my state as well. And these times, money is obviously harder to come by, and I can understand looking for more work to get by. But I cannot understand being so unethical as to call a teenager a cooter and ask her to pay for his hollandaise hash browns. Damn. Thought this story belonged here. Hope I could make some of you laugh with the nerve of this guy. That guy's creepy. Okay, well, first of all, OP, user and average cactus, good job on freaking getting a job at 14 and saving for college, if that's what you're actually doing. I know you can say, "Oh yeah, I'm saving for college," but you spend like 90% of your money on like stupid like freaking sushi delivered to your door or like online purchases. Okay, I'm projecting. Alright, this story's called Ouch! My Faith in Humanity. Recently, my boyfriend and I were trying to sell our PS4. Because money is required for goods and services, and we required both. For shame. We put it up on multiple buy-sell groups for $250, because even if the system is a bit old by now, we also had 20 or so games bundled with it. We were even willing to haggle because food. We had many people talk to us about it. I was the one who talked to them, but it was my first time doing anything like that, so even though I could enjoy choosing beggar stories and reading about scammers and the like, I thought that sort must be few and far between. They were not. I don't know how to do Ron Howard's voice. 3 people stood out to me. Person 1 was perfectly lovely and cordial. He told me he absolutely wanted the system but wouldn't be paid until 4 days hence. He said, "Could we hold it?" And we were so happy to have met a nice person like that we said sure. When the day came and it was an hour until the scheduled rendezvous, I texted him to see if he was still working. "I got told I have overtime," he replied. "We don't mind waiting until later if you want," I said. "I just don't want it anymore, okay?" Would have been nice if you told us so we could list it again. Person 2 sent me a Facebook message.
Hey, is this available still?
It is. Are you interested?
Can you do 225?
225 would be fine. How do you want to do this?
Actually, there was a typo. I meant 170.
Thank you, but I'm gonna have to respectfully decline.
What's the lowest you'll take?
I didn't bother answering. It felt like he was asking,
"Hey, could you help me screw you over?"
Person 3 did buy the system. We ended up agreeing on $200 because rent was due. My boyfriend met him outside to do the sale because I was at work. According to boyfriend, person 3 came with a buddy. They asked him if he'll take $180. He says no thanks, $200 or no deal. They shrug as if to say it was worth a shot and give him a very sloppy pile of bills. Being a meticulous sort of person, boyfriend insists on counting the money. There was $180 there. They tried to screw him a second time, and when he requested the other $20, they had the nerve to grumble about it. And now I just really don't want to bother with selling things to people anymore because the moral of the story is what the can we get a hey? I had to start a word with because duh. Anyway, wow, that sounds like an incredibly frustrating experience, and that's why I hate selling things online too. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.